Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. A recent article by Fox News stated that a recent string of high-profile exits in Hollywood is fueling questions whether backlash towards the left's diversity push has reached the entertainment industry. Between July 20th and July 3rd, at least 5 executives at top entertainment and media companies leading diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, also known as DEI, have stepped down or were pushed out of their roles. These include Disney's Chief Diversity Officer, Latondra Newton, Netflix's Inclusion Strategy Chief and self-described DEI expert, Verna Myers, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Executive VP of Impact and Inclusion, Janelle English, Warner Bros. Discovery's DEI Senior Vice President, Karen Horn, and the BBC's Creative Diversity Chief, Joanna Abier. These companies have claimed that they're either going through restructuring or some of these execs have left of their own volition to start their own endeavors. But the timing here is the key indicator. 5 execs of some of the world's largest media and entertainment companies, all within the same 2 weeks, have left their positions. That, in and of itself, is a very interesting coincidence. But those coupled with other recent factors, like the pushback that has come for companies like Bud Light and Target for actively pushing this LGBT agenda to a point that people have become so uncomfortable with it, as well as the loss in profits that these companies have taken due to these initiatives that they've pushed. The most recent example being Disney, which from their last 8 films has lost a total of $900 million, which I talked about in a previous video, which I'll link in the cards here. But so is this a good sign? I think it is. There seems to be an acknowledgement of these companies that this active pursuit of these agendas is starting to fall apart. What we're seeing now is a strong political reversal that's come from a seemingly offhanded incident. The catalyst for that being the Bud Light scandal, which has put into effect this full push against these policies and agendas that have been put in place by these companies. And the companies are looking at these DEI departments that have become too expensive to maintain the facade. They were never making money off of them, but it was helping them to push this agenda. But suddenly, they're losing so much money. They were always going to lose some amount, but I don't think they were accounting for how severe that would be. How many people are uninterested in supporting these incredibly leftist companies. So they had to pull back. They have to tighten the belt when it comes to their spending. And these are the biggest offenders of corporate waste. But what you're seeing now is these companies have to make a decision between hemorrhaging the amount of money that they currently are and fulfilling their obligation to their investors and upholding their CEI index. And the CEI index is the Corporate Equity Index, which is a score that you receive as a company for how progressive you are. And that can affect the amount of investment you get from these liberal investment companies, which fund most of the major companies that you know. So they have to choose between the profits they take from individual spenders and the investments they're getting from major corporations, because they're getting pulled at 2 ends. Before, a lot of people were unhappy with the things Disney were doing. They were unhappy with Hollywood and the movies they were making. But there's been this massive increase in just public outrage, a unifying movement, which wasn't happening before. You're getting a unified movement, the actual boycotts that are working. Boycotts almost never work. It's very rare that you get a very effective boycott. But the ones on Bud Light and Target have created a precedence and opened people's minds to the idea that we as a population have a collective purchasing power, which is either on par or more important than the amount of money that they're receiving from their investors. You're getting the investors versus the customers, and the customers may win. People continue to fight back against this. They don't become passive about it. They continue to realize how evil these corporations are. Maybe we'll see drastic change. Maybe we'll see the downfall of some of these horrendously corrupt and indoctrinating companies. A possibility that many thought was just a fantasy several years ago. That we'd actually see something like the fall of Disney. But we're seeing it now. And whether they fall into oblivion or totally reorient themselves and remove the propaganda that them and these other media companies are spreading, that's a win. So hopefully we'll see a reversal of a lot of these policies that have been set in place by these companies. Hopefully we'll see the media that they release pulling a lot further to the right. And we'll see some return to normalcy when it comes to the media we consume and the media we share. So now that you've heard what I think, please let me know what you think down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.